What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of At Home with Mark. I'm digging this. We're in season 11, episode 3. We are hitting the ground running. I feel like episode 3, once we get in new seasons, it's when we start hitting our stride. And what a stride we have hit today with Mr. Robert Baker hanging out. Dude, thank you for hanging and talking and chatting gear.
Dude, I'm here for it. Long hairs unite. We're here. I'm bringing them all.
Man, we were just talking before this. I've been watching your stuff for a while, and it's very interesting. I should tell you this up front. I used one of your videos as fodder to help me decide between a Heritage and a Les Paul.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to Nashville in April for my kid's spring break, and we were hanging out, and I went to this guitar shop and met one of my buddies that lives down there, and he has a nice Heritage core. It's all like beat up and like aged and stuff.
Oh,
and
cool.
And I played it and I was like, oh, this is great. This feels awesome. And then I went on Wildwood's website and I saw a Les Paul and I was like, wow.
Oh, no.
That thing is sexy. So, and this is the second guitar I bought from Wildwood, but dude, I bought a Les Paul over a Heritage. And man, have you bought any instruments from Wildwood?
I haven't. I have friend. Do you know Zach Broyles?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Yeah. Zach's bought some stuff. So I've never bought anything from Wildwood directly, but I've bought stuff through my friends buying stuff.
Yeah.
Like went vicariously through them.
It's crazy because like that's the second guitar I've bought from them sight unseen, and probably the best guitars I own are those two guitars.
Really? That's cool though.
It's crazy.
I mean the is Heritage better? Like I don't know, it's just whatever you want to play at the end of the day. And I mean Gibson, I mean that's what I saw Jimmy Page and Slash and all those guys playing, so I'll always be drawn to those as well. I just found that one that I played, I'm like, oh, this is what I always want a Les Paul to sound like.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the antiquities that are in it. It's just that big fat telly.
Yep.
Sound, and like that's what I want my Les Paul to sound like. So,
well, it's fun to watch you explain these things and talk about these things. And as somebody else who does gear demos, like you're such a great player that it's like, that I can relate to what he's doing. I can relate to like how he's approaching the tone. And like, so like for me, it's a close, I was like, if you like it and the way that I hear it coming out of your video, I'm like, I can pretty much guarantee that's how I'm going to dig it too, kind of thing. So you've been a good, litmus test for me to
cool.
go through that journey.
Well, I'm glad that it's helped, do something.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to tell you that up front. But let's start off how we always start off here, Robert, because I'm getting to know you today, right? Okay. So what is your earliest musical memory?
Oh. Earliest musical memory. Well, the one that came to my mind first was before I played guitar. I remember my friend was like obsessed with AC/DC and he had the live album and like played it for me. And I'm like, I can't even understand what the guy's saying. That's for some reason, that's the first one that popped in my head. He's like, you can't understand what he's saying. And then like, now I'm like, now I understand every word that Brian Johnson or Bon Scott says, but it's just funny to think like, that was for some reason the first thing that popped in my I was obsessed with Creed. That was my band, before playing guitar. And then Eddie is why I started playing guitar.
Eddie Van Halen, just to clarify for people.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So how old are we when we're getting into this music?
Probably like early teen, like 13, 14, 15. I didn't start playing until I was like 15 going on to 16. So yeah. So kind of like, I guess like late technically, because you hear like all like the greats are all like, I started playing guitar when I was like 2.5.
Right.
That's when I first heard a guitar string. So
yeah, that's like so unheard of though. It's funny because the majority, I would say, of people that I talk to on this show, and I talk about when did you start playing guitar and everything, is kind of in that range, like early teen,
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty standard. Because like, tell me a little bit about your pathway to get a guitar, because obviously, not everybody their parents can afford to buy a guitar, like,
right.
Some people. So like, how did you end up either convincing someone to
that's what it was.
Borrow one or buy one? Like, what was the pathway?
Yeah. So like, do you want like what made me want to play guitar? Like that moment into
Yeah,
getting one?
yeah. Like, what was the pathway to
Sure.
get to the point where you were like, all right, I have one.
Well, I remember my dad putting on the 1984 album, and I just heard "Hot for Teacher," and like it was the tapping part. I'm like, "What is that?" And he's like, "That's Eddie Van Halen." I'm like, "What? That sounds crazy." I don't know why that sound like appealed to me so much, but that set me on my way. And then I'm like, I just wanted to play guitar. And I remember my mom took me, because I think I bugged them to death at that point. I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. And they took me to an old music store. I mean, it's long gone now, in Shelby, Ohio, called ESL Music. And the guy put together this, like, pretty much like the starter packs that you see now in stores. Like, he put one of those together with a Samick Strat.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was someone's signature. I didn't know who it was. It was the silver Samick. It looks almost identical to what the Silver Sky looks like.
Okay.
And then I think the amp was like an Excel. It was like one of the terrible starter amps. And that was it. And I mean, I think it was $170 for all of it. And I remember I didn't know how to do anything on it. My friend would like come over, and because he played guitar too, but he played piano before and he was really good. And all I could do on the guitar, and he hated it so much, is I would just go. That was it. That was me playing guitar.
Right. Your early Tom Morello impersonation. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then he taught me over the phone one time how to play Smoke on the Water.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wrote it down on paper, because he taught it to me as plain 3/5, plain 3/6/5. So on a piece of paper, I just had P3/5, P and plain. I was like, plain means open. We didn't know what open, we didn't know what to call it, so we just called it plain. And that was it. Like, that was the beginning of it for me.
Okay, man. So when you started, I mean, you've always been a rock guy, I guess. Then, like, you've always been attracted to rock music. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
I was watching a little bit of that video you did with Corey today about the blues stuff, because I found that interesting too. Because, like, you don't. I like the fact that you're willing to be like vulnerable and humble about, like, I don't play that type of music. I don't get into that headspace, because when you're playing a blues gig or a jazz gig or a rock gig, to really come across the stage to the audience in the correct way, it's kind of like you have to serve and be authentic with that style, right?
Totally.
And I liked the fact that you are willing to be vulnerable and be like, dude, I don't do this stuff. I know some of this stuff, but like, I don't know how to implement it into my vocabulary.
Totally.
So how hard is that for you, like, coming from the rock world? Because I grew up playing in jam bands, so improvisational music is my life. Like the Grateful Dead and Fish and like all that stuff is my life.
Oh, that's amazing. That stuff impresses me like to no end.
Right.
Because I didn't come from that at all. And even like here in town, I've been asked, like, come up and jam with us. I'm like, I'm really not that guy. Like, I'm not improvise a cool solo kind of player. Like, I love composition. Like, I love creating and fine tuning like the moments that are in solos and rhythms and all that kind of stuff. So improvising, it's such a train wreck. I love doing it because that's how you get to the solo and all that. And I was always just drawn more to like the compositions, and a lot of rock music is very composed to some degree. It's not as free as like I remember. Do you know the band like Acoustic Hookah and stuff like that?
I've opened for them back in the day.
Have you really? Oh
yeah, man.
Sweeney. I mean, what a great and that's jam band kind of thing where they just go off on a tangent for an hour and you're like, man, he's just like rattling off these cool licks and everything. But
you don't feel comfortable in that scenario? Like if you get thrown in, like you don't feel extremely comfortable?
I guess I shouldn't say I don't feel comfortable. Like I can do it. I shouldn't say I'm not comfortable. I can do it. It's not my favorite thing to do.
Okay.
I think it's a better way to put it. Yeah, because I can do whatever I kind of need to do, but my favorite stuff is like the composition of it all. Because Corey's tried to get me to. He's like, you get up and jam. I'm like, man, I'm just not that guy. Like, I don't have like it's like, play something impressive. And I'm like, what's it over? Like, what am I playing over?
Well,
So,
tell me about like, your journey with like listening to music and inspiration, because like coming from like the composition background, I mean, were you into like any prog stuff, like Yes and anything like that?
not really.
Okay.
I mean, it was way more straight ahead. I mean, it was a lot of like 90s stuff. It was really what I found first. And like the early 2000s were like super influential. I mean, like Three Doors Down. I think it was because like Three Doors Down and Creed and all that stuff. It's like I could actually play those songs. Eddie's what made me want to play, but I'm like, I can't jump into Van Halen songs and play them the right way. There's so many like little things into it. So it wasn't really like prog. I never got into like Dream Theater or any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It was just more like the straight ahead thing. And then once I discovered like 80s, my mom bought me like a greatest, rock songs from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it had like 17 and like Poison by Alice Cooper. I'm like, I love the sound. I just love the big sound of it all. And I think I was destined for that whenever my mom, it was like you could order CDs. I can't remember what it was called.
Columbia House.
And it was like, you get one CD, you get 50 free, whatever, if you buy one. And she let me pick out a couple, and I picked out Metallica, who I'd never heard of, and Winger, who I had never heard of. And I remember I got the Metallica album. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, I like this stuff. And then I turned the Winger album on. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is what I like. So.
That's amazing. It's funny, man, because I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, and I just skipped over all that stuff for some reason. Like, I didn't get into any of the hair metal stuff or anything like that, really. And a lot of my friends were, like, a bunch of my friends were into that stuff. But then, like, when I heard Pearl Jam, that's what changed my life and made me want to play guitar. And like, dude, I mean, I have it on my arm, it's like, they're the reason I play guitar. So it's like, but then it's funny because when I go back now and I listen to some stuff, like some of the players from the 80s and what they were doing, I wish I could like pinpoint a time when guitar tone changed. Like what year did that stuff go from Zeppelin to that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's an interesting period of time in music.
Totally, because if you think about it, like if you go like the Cars, like what was their first album, 78? Or that
sounds about right.
Yes, it was late 70s, which I mean they really sounded like what the 80s were going to become eventually. But even like hair metal, I think that stuff sounded the best. And it's unfortunate. It was like early 90s, like around 91, 92. That was whenever it was like the production was really good. They had like guitar tone for that kind of stuff had like evolved enough to where, now the guitars sound big. They're not these thin, small sounding guitars anymore.
Right.
And yeah, you can listen to like early Motley Crue and then listen to like Dr. Feelgood, and you're like, wow, what a tone difference between the way mixed guitar sounded on Too Fast for Love or something like that. And then you have Dr. Feelgood. It's these huge sounding guitars. So
was that period of time, you probably know this better than I do. Was that period of time heavily JCM 800s?
I think it was a lot of JCM 800s, and a lot of it was like the ADA MP1s, So, and then whenever Marshall came out with the JMP one, I mean, people still use those. I think Billy Gibbons still uses one of those, and Billy Corgan. Just anybody named Billy apparently like uses JMP ones. So yeah, it was a lot of that stuff, and then of course, Sodanos came around, or he modded like Warren DeMartini's Marshalls and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's so interesting, man. And like when you listen to the transition from like that to grunge, even, anytime there's like a sea change that happens, that it's very distinctive and very poignant, like where you can drop a pebble in water and see the concentric circles coming out of it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And that's, I think, why I loved Weezer and Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, all these bands, because it was like dark and brooding, and like it's like they were taking what was coming before even from like the 70s, from like the Who and
Oh
whatever,
yeah,
and like just dirtying it up and like grunging it up, like getting it a little filthy.
yeah.
But a lot of the times when you see like Mike McCready on stage or you see Stone Gossard in old Pearl Jam videos, it's like they've got 800s behind them.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw. I went and saw Winger, and Reb was just playing on rented gear, and it was a rented JCM 2000,
Wow.
and he literally had a pedal board that had 2 pedals on it. He had a DD3, sorry, 3 pedals, a tuner, and then the Shure Sheba drive. That was it, and his tone sounded incredible. I'm like, I'm going out and buying a JCM 2000 right now. They're like $200 because nobody wanted them.
Yeah, it's funny how some of that stuff just kind of dwindles and then it gets popular again.
Yeah.
Or if somebody like Bukovac posts something, then the price goes way up, or it's like, you know what I mean? It's the market's so weird. The gear market these days.
It really is. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, what was it? Did JHS post about the Bad Money? What was it? Yeah, that thing. That, you know, I was like, dude, I had all those pedals laying around, and I'm like, all these pedals suck. I'm like, I just didn't know how to use them at the time.
Dude, some of those old DOD pedals with that weird like black strip that you step on.
Yep.
Dude, that old school. I had that envelope filter.
I never used that one
because I was always looking for that Garcia thing, that Quack. And that thing did it. And it sounded, I was in a band at one point where there was a drummer, guitar player, and me. And I went back and forth between guitar, keys, and bass, like depending on the song.
Dang.
And I used to put the envelope filter on that bass and it sounded dope. So like some of those old DOD pedals are worth finding. Like
we were kind of talking about this before about the I said I had like the Behringer Super Fuzz, which like I said, I think I paid $29 for it. I think they're like 35 now or something. But I think it's like sometimes when stuff sounds bad, it's like it sounds so bad it's good. Like it crosses that threshold and you're like, but it's so bad and has such a sound that it's like, well, now it's good all of a sudden.
Right.
It's like, how does this work?
Yeah. It's like hipster pedal syndrome. You know what I mean? It's totally what it is. So Robert, tell me, so did you grow up in Ohio?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina.
Grew up mostly in Ohio, and then now Tennessee. So
okay. When did you move to Nashville? How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
I knew it was like recent.
Yeah, so not that long, but now it's been long enough to where I'm like, it feels like we've just always been here. So yeah, I think it was 3, maybe going on 4 years. I'm not sure, but fairly recent.
Okay. Was that a scary move or was that exciting?
I think it was exciting because we were all on the same page. My wife and my son, like I said it as a joke because my son, you know, his school only went up to 6th grade, so we were already going to transition him out of that school anyways. And I was like, yeah, we should move to Nashville. And my wife was just like, yeah, why don't we? And I'm like, why don't we? You know, and then we did. Like, and it was fast. Like 6-7 months later, you know, we were here.
Man, that's crazy. I remember seeing, I think there was a video that Tom did where he was like, you know, welcomed you to the community or whatever. And you guys were hanging out in his house or something. And I was like, I was like, I don't recognize that dude.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And has it been like people say in Nashville? I mean, granted, you have a lot of good friends that you moved there and you had like a community probably pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But everybody talks about that when they move to Nashville or LA, where it's like it takes 3 or 4 years to assimilate.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for me, it was one of the things when we were moving here, I realized, it dawned on me. I'm like, I know more people in Nashville than I do in Ohio. And I've, you know, lived here. Sorry, that's my phone going off. Okay. I've lived in Ohio, you know, pretty much my whole life. Really. Yeah. I forgot to mute it, and now it's just gonna go off the whole time.
You're fine, Robert.
But yeah, and I was like, I already know so many people here, and luckily they were all really, really welcoming, like crazy. I've been meaning to make a video for a while called was the move to Nashville worth it? Like 3 years in Nashville as a musician or something like that. Which mine's a little bit different because I'm not trying to play on Broadway or do sessions or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I think as long as you're not, I think if people can sense that you're not trying to get something from everybody, you're just like, oh, you just like, it's just decent people around other decent people and your musicians. They're really like accepting to that, you know. If they weed out the people who are just trying to like, how do I use this person as like a stepping stone to get to the next person? And like, I'm like, man, don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's icky.
Totally.
How much are you gigging and stuff these days? Like, I mean, I know you got a lot going on with your channel and with your website and everything, but what's going on?
I gig exactly 0 times a month.
Are you like happy with that, or do you miss it at all? Or
no, I mean, I'm honestly super. I think right now I'm so busy I don't have time to think one way or the other. But I've never really missed it, you know. And I think it's because the gigging side of it was never what I wanted to do. You know, even when I was in high school, we had to do our like senior project, and my whole senior project was how I wanted to be a session guitarist. I was like, that was all, and it kind of goes back to the composition thing. I was like, I just loved that side of music so much that I had played in bands, you know, for 5 or 6 years and did all that kind of stuff. And then I did clinics for a couple of companies for 2 years, where we traveled. For 2 years, I traveled so much. We went to China, Germany, like all over the place. And I was like, I don't like traveling either. And that was right whenever I started YouTube, thankfully. So,
what year was that?
That would have been 2012. Well, I've had the YouTube channel for a long time, but it was around 2012 whenever I was like, oh, I want to be like serious about this and see what can happen with it, you know?
Yeah. So you started like right around the same time my buddy Michael Palmisano did, I guess.
Oh yeah. But he was Guitargate, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. He lives like 20 minutes from me. Like I saw him yesterday.
Oh.
We went to there's a guitar shop in Towson, Maryland that is owned by one of our friends, and he texted us Sunday morning and was like, yo, can you guys come over to my shop at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning? Because I just bought a 1958 Strat from one owner.
Dang.
And he was like, and you guys both like Strats, so like, can you come by? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I told my boss, and I luckily work for a company that it's music based, and they're just, oh yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But dude, played like garbage because the frets were like toothpicks at that time. And he told us a story that this woman had owned this guitar. She supported her family with it. She was a single mother doing like session work and gigging around Baltimore and stuff, and took care of her family with it. Totally awesome story. And then he said she'd never changed the frets, replaced the frets on it. I was like, well, that makes sense. It was like playing a fretless at times, dude. They were slowed down. But man, what a sound. The pickups. That was the magic. They have neck pickup, man.
Such a killer sound. I have an old Strat, and that's the way it was. The frets had never been changed on it. And I got lucky whenever I got the guitar. I made a video about it. As all YouTubes, you have to do it.
As you do.
I don't know. There's like laws. And luckily somebody commented, and it was like, my dad saw your video and he thinks that's his old Strat that I bought. And I'm like, what is it stolen or something? Like someone trying to like get my guitar? Because like this was like my dream guitar, was a 63 Strat. And I was like, and normally I wouldn't even respond to that stuff. And I did for some reason. And he's like, my dad has pictures of the guitar with the finish, because it's a blonde with an ash body, so you can see the wood grain through the paint. He's like, my dad has pictures of it. He got it new when he was 14. And then, like, sure enough, he sent me pictures of it, and I have documentation of the guitar's entire life.
Whoa.
Yeah. And what was crazy was he lived 30 minutes from me in Ohio. So the guitar had spent its whole life in Ohio, and they sold the guitar because they needed a new roof, and sold it to a guy out in California who refinishes guitars. So the guitar spent its whole, it started in California and spent its whole life in Ohio. And then he sent it out to California, and then it was I just happened right around the time whenever I was looking. It was like right before the pandemic and everything, and I'm like, I think this is the one, and we bought it, and then sure enough, it was his guitar, and I'm like, this is crazy,
man.
So,
Because is that at that time in '63? Was that a normal finish to be blonde like that, or was it custom color?
no, I think it was normal. He wanted one, but the ash body is what's weird
Right.
on it, because I think alder was the norm, and he specifically I don't know why he said he asked for ash, or like the music store person said like, no, you want ash because the wood grain, the way to look through the paint. And he had it, like, he had me pictures of the guitar. He stripped all the paint off of it at one point, and it was just bare wood. He painted it black in like this psychedelic color in the 70s.
Oh my god, dude.
He had old band pictures of his band that played around Cleveland with him and the guitar. I'm like, this is crazy.
That's amazing. So do you still have all that stuff like together? Like,
oh yeah,
that's cool,
yeah. I have a folder,
dude.
and then once we got it, and I just got the guitar refretted last year at Glazier's, and they let me record, refretting it and all that stuff. And I think Jim saw that, and then I had another Strat, and then I sent him that one because I was like, well, you have to have a Strat, and I was like, it's just cool to go full circle with it all.
Man, you're a good dude. That's awesome, man.
It's a killer guitar. I mean, I think the term dream guitar gets thrown around a lot now. I'm like, that was like a legitimate dream guitar for me.
How's the neck on that, on the 63? Because I bought that's the other Wildwood guitar I bought, was a custom shop Strat, which was like my dream guitar when I turned when I turned 40. I was like, I'm buying a freaking custom shop. And that neck, when I first pulled it out, I was used to, because I have a 94 Strat, which is funny right now. That's like vintage now because it's over 30 years.
Isn't it weird?
It's weird.
It doesn't feel right. Like the 90s, that was like 10 years ago, right?
Right. But it's so different. Like that neck on the 94 is wide and like thin. It's like almost like a really thin D in a way.
Yeah.
But what's the neck like on that?
It's well, every 63 I've ever played, they're all so like wildly different. I'm like, what is the standard neck back then? Because I've had one, another local guy in Ohio, Pat Wassman, had one, and it was fat. It was this big fat 63 neck. I'm like, wow, my neck's so thin, not too thin, but it's like substantially thinner than his, and has a little bit more shoulder on it. And his was way more of like a C, and then mine's maybe a little bit more of a D. What would be the one that has a little bit more shoulder on the?
I think that's a D, isn't it?
I think so. I'm not good at like knowing any of that stuff.
Either. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because those necks. I mean, I haven't played too many vintage guitars, if I'm honest, because I haven't been around them. But I'm not in a town that you run into them very often.
Have you ever been in Nashville?
One time. So twice. Once with my wife, and she humored me and took me to. I went to Carter's. She's not a musician, and she could give two shits about that stuff. But I went back in 2021 to record a tune at the Wood Brothers studio down there.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
The Wood Brothers are awesome. They're like a Americana folky kind of bluesy kind of thing. But you know Medeski, Martin, and Wood?
No.
Band? Oh, okay. It's in the jam world. But anyway, when we went down that day, I went to see Zach and Matt at Mythos and hung out with those guys for a little bit, and then we went to Groons, and like I didn't get the treatment because I didn't know anybody, but that's as close as I'll ever get to being in a building with. I know that there's
dude, next time you come here, well, I mean, all kinds of guys here, but we'll go to all of them.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, we can go. We'll go upstairs in Groons and try all the hidden gems up there and stuff.
Have you been in Norms in LA?
No, I've never been out there. I was supposed to. I've supposed to have went multiple times, and something has always happened whenever I was out there, and I had to like leave early or something, and I didn't get to go. But I've never been out there to Norms.
Okay, yeah, it's a cool shop. I mean, that's the other thing too. He's like behind the curtain is all the cool stuff kind of vibe. The front showroom always feels like it's like a mess. It always feels like there's just like tons of guitars on the floor on stands and stuff. But it's cool. I mean, it's a vibe for sure.
Yeah, I mean Carter's, they just kind of have everything out for you to play. Have you been to the new Carter's?
No, it was the old one
Yeah.
still. Yeah.
The new one's, I mean, it's twice the size of the other one. So everything's out. And then there's another cool vintage store here called Music City Vintage. They're really cool, and everything's just kind of on the floor. And they all are like, just grab stuff, play it. And I'm awesome. like, yeah, but it's a 59 Strat, and I don't want to just grab it. Well, it's a 68 Paisley.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary to hold those sometimes because you're just, I mean, they're meant to be played, man. That's the thing.
Yeah, and they are, but I'm always like, I was just always taught, I'm like, if you can't buy it right now,
don't pick it up.
You got no reason to be touching it. I'm like,
you're at a point in your career now where people like probably want you to experience it, so it's like, yeah, pick it up. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's always cool, but it's always like, I don't like playing other people's guitars, which might sound weird, but because I'm like, I'll never play it the way that I would actually play a guitar, because I'll always be more gentle. I'll always be more like respectful. And mine, I'm just like, dude, beat the life out of it. I'm like clang. I mean, my wife always laughs because we're like two completely different people. She wants her guitars perfect and pristine. And then she'll come up here and I'm like, oh yeah, here's the song I'm working on. Like clang, 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 pull the guitars out. And she's like, how? This is why you shouldn't have nice things. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's great. Clang, clang,
Well, you know what? Speaking of clang, clang, you're plugged into something pretty cool right now.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about, so what's that guitar?
So this is an old 81 Ibanez Destroyer 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, so after Gibson told Ibanez that the original Destroyer it was just a copy of an Explorer, it was way too close.
Right.
They stopped making them for a few years, and then they came out with this. And it's so cool because I think it's better than an Explorer.
Oh, okay.
Because it's laid out better than what an Explorer is. So do you want me to grab the Explorer? Because if you see them side by side,
yeah, that would be cool. If you can, if it's not logistically possible, it'd be rad to see them both.
It's just here in the pile,
in the clang pile.
Yeah. So like, if you look at them, like if you look at the way the knobs are positioned on it.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
The Explorer. It's so hard to hold this guitar.
Oh my god!
There's the clanging. They're so far away and facing the other direction, where on the Destroyer, instead of the knobs going this way, they go this way, and they're right by your hand. So I'm like, oh, it's laid out so much better. And the selector switch on an Explorer is normally down here, and this one's all the way up here, so you don't bump it with your leg and accidentally go to like middle position.
Right.
Which nobody uses on on a Destroyer ever.
How does the middle position sound though? Let's hear it.
It actually sounds really good. Now that I've talked crap about it.
And now you're in you said a super bass?
Super lead,
and then you said you have a Timmy.
Yeah, and a Timmy on it. So that's the middle position.
Ah, sounds good.
Which, yeah. Maybe.
That almost got stratty for a second.
It's so the pickups that are in here it's a Super 70 and a V2, which the Super 70 is, I'm pretty sure, what EVH used in his Destroyer.
Oh.
So they're DiMarzio pickups. Anyone who doesn't know, DiMarzio made Ibanez pickups back in the day, but they weren't labeled DiMarzio. That's why you could have the double creams that Gibson got sued over. Because these were made by DiMarzio. I mean, it's so snappy. And I probably have the audio all jacked up, but I mean,
a lot of clarity.
Yeah, they're very, very clear. And that's the middle. Cleans up really good. I mean, I'm like, it's a rock guitar.
Yeah, it sounds sweet.
It sounds great,
Man.
And It does that, especially with the super lead. It does that Eddie with the Timmy back on. He had like a certain like. Well, I have a thick pick. You need a thinner pick, but that little like, bite on the note. I mean, like I'm like, that's it. Like that's that little like. There's like this little snap bloom on the note. Yeah. So
hell yeah, dude.
I'm like all day, every day.
Yeah, baby. Dude, yeah, that's funny because it's like I would never ever think that you'd like pick up a guitar like that because I was like, that's not me. And then the same thing goes for like when I see, like Albert King play a V or something, I'm like, okay, well, he did that. I mean,
yeah.
There's got to be a reason for it. I mean, I'm sure those were PAFs, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've turned so many people onto Explorers because kind of like that. I was the same way. I'm like, dude, you need like leather pants and stuff like that to play an Explorer. Like, I'm not the guy. But I bought this one on Reverb during the pandemic. I think it was $800.
Wow.
$900. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but like cheap for what these normally go for. And I was like, well, it's worth a shot. I've never even played an Explorer, and I got it, and I just fell in love. I'm like, this is the most comfortable body style of guitar. Like I had no clue. I only clanged it like 3 times. Trying to put it down. And then you start seeing like Phil Collins used Destroyers back in the 80s, the DT 400s, and Adrian Smith did, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I love the way the Destroyer looks. And I was like, and I know I like the Explorer style. And then I got it, and I'm like, this is the greatest guitar ever created. And it's the easiest. This and my Tom Anderson are the easiest playing guitars I've ever played. Like,
really?
Just effortless.
Wow.
It's weird how easy it is to play.
What do you think it is? Like, what is it? The scale length? Is it the neck itself? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It is just like you barely have to push on the frets. Like it's just like nothing. Like it's hard to go from this one to like the other one sometimes. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back and play this one because it's just so easy to play.
So like going from something like that to your vintage Strat would be night and day.
Oh yeah, the Strat's a whole.
Yeah, you gotta
be ready. Yeah, it's a little more fight to it, but it has a sound and it has a thing to it where like as soon as you hear it, I'm like, my favorite sound in the world is a Strat neck pickup, with a slightly broken up tone. I'm like, and like Andy Timmons tone. I'm like, I can listen to that tone all day long, and I will never get tired of it.
No, he's a master, dude. I'm shocked. I mean, it's not that I'm shocked that it sounds good, but like I'm surprised at how versatile it sounded just with a couple of like pickup selections you did right then, because I was just like not expecting that at all.
It's so versatile, and it doesn't look the part. I mean, maybe take it to your next blues jam and like roll up this thing and see what people think.
It's rad, dude. That's awesome. It reminds me, it's almost kind of like that shape. What was that St. Vincent Music Man that came out? That weird shape. It's almost in the spirit of that instrument. I feel like,
it's a little funky because I don't get too far off the beaten path when it comes to guitar shapes. I'm like, I want like a Super Strat or Les Paul or Telly, but this one I'm like, I dig all the changes they made to it, and it just kind of has its own thing. And unfortunately, I think people are figuring out how good these are because the prices are going up on them like crazy, and they're hard to find. Like this one's a DT 300, which was only released in Japan, so you don't see them very often. And they happen to be in like Michigan or something like that. I just saw it on Reverb. I'm like, oh snap, that's the one. So.
That's cool, man. I think it's so fun when you find an instrument that you really connect with, because it's not. I mean, it's funny. I told my wife a million times because when I wanted to buy the Les Paul, she was like, "Really, dude?" I'm like, "If you saw my friends and my contemporaries on YouTube and their studios and how many guitars, dude, I have 4 guitars. That's it. And I'm like,
see,
I think I need more honey.
yeah. Oh, I mean, at least one for each finger.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like right now I feel set. I know this is famous last words, but I feel set. I think the only thing I need is a good telly. I need another
Ooh.
good telly, and then I think I will be good to go.
Yeah.
So, but well, let me jump back real quick because we don't have much time left. But on the tip of composition,
Mhm.
because in the process of you doing YouTube and kind of cultivating your audience and like doing the stuff that you do to support your audience's viewership and everything,
Sure.
I see that you do like, it's kind of like what Pete Thorne does with his videos when he like composes a piece of music to play over and everything.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite part of it?
I literally like think of videos that are an excuse for me to write a piece of music for it. I mean, like that's why I love getting. Look, now all the technos are coming in. I love all the getting new gear. I have such a good system here where I'll borrow gear from like Sweetwater or something like that. So it kind of like it scratches the itch of like, oh, I want to play something new and different, and then I send it back, and it gives you an excuse to like write a piece of music, because usually anytime you get something new, there's that spark of like inspiration. You're like, oh, what is this? Like when I got this guitar, it wrote like this like Racer X kind of song, and it just did it, and that's always my favorite thing about getting a new piece of gear. I'm like, that spark of inspiration that only happens like that first week or something that you have it. There's something new. The strings feel tighter, they're loose, whatever it is, you just create something with it. And I just use those videos as a big excuse to make
Right.
crappy guitar demo songs.
Do you like just kind of shoot from the hip, or do you think about like, oh, I'm going to think about the style of Winger, I'm going to think about the style of this band, like, because as a songwriter, like when I'm writing, sometimes inspiration just hits you, right? And like it's just like you've got like an antenna connected to the ether. But like, do you go into certain things depending on the gear, choosing what you're going to compose?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, my wife always laughs because she's like, I can always tell what you're listening to, because I was working on another song for another guitar, and she's like, are you listening to a lot of like Reb Beach? Because we just went and saw Winger. I'm like, yes. She's like, that sounds like a Reb Beach riff. It's like a discount version of all the people. But yeah, she was just like, I can always tell what you're listening to, because it's like it comes through whatever you're playing. So I think maybe like subconsciously that is happening, but usually it's strictly on whatever the piece of gear inspires. Like, and sometimes it won't make sense. Like when I got my Heritage, it like wrote this heavy detuned like drop D. I'm like, I mean, I was thinking more like, let's write like a Slash song or something. And it's just like, no, it's this kind of like proggy metal thing. I'm like, I don't know why that's what came out, but you don't argue it. You're just like, hey, the music gods or whatever gave you this little piece of inspiration, just kind of roll with it.
Do you start with harmony, or do you start with melody, or do you start with groove?
It's usually some kind of a groove.
Okay.
Some kind of something. Even when I was warming up, I didn't get to play it all before I hopped on, but earlier today I was playing something, and the chords, I was just like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea of whatever the chords were. I'm just like, I like these chords. And it just kind of like starts turning into some kind of a and I'm like, oh, I have like a little like scratch track. I'm like, whatever these chords are, like I need to remember that riff idea, and that's what it'll start as. And then usually, I never know how to describe it, but like you hear the whole song almost. Like as soon as I hear that, I hear the next part. I'm like, oh, it needs to be some kind of. I'm like, I can hear the next part, and then it needs to transition. Like we're gonna keep it. Yeah, I don't know where, like,
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know how to articulate a lot of that stuff. I'm like, but you just hear it. I'm like, it's like improvising, it's like, it just happens. Like, how do you describe improvising to somebody?
I mean, I think that is a sign of true composition and a true composer when you can kind of get ahead of your thoughts and get ahead of your ears.
Yeah.
I find people who can do that, like Bruce Hornsby. If you ever see that guy play live,
Mm-hmm.
he has all these like hand signals and like gestures to like get the band to do certain things.
That's
And
cool.
sometimes he's like this, and it means like the buck stops here. That's like his joke is like everyone needs to shut up for a second. But he'll like go off on these improvisational tangents, but it's like it's a composition. It's harmonically sound.
Yeah.
So like what you're talking about doing that's I feel like a true sign of somebody who loves composition and loves telling a story with chord changes.
Oh yeah. I mean, to me that, and then there, guys like I love. We were talking about Corey Congilio.
Mm-hmm.
Is that anyone watching? He's incredible at both. Like then some of the guys get all the talent. He can do both. Write really cool, fascinating stuff and just improvise. I mean, I've seen Corey live. I don't know how many times here in town, and every time I'm like, man, he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like so jealous of there's so many guys around here that are like that.
Guthrie's ridiculous.
Guthrie is insane. Corey's insane.
Tom's insane.
Yeah, all of them, and all different. They're all completely different players.
RJ, you and RJ are closer, I would think.
Yeah, RJ too. I mean,
yeah.
And I think RJ is the craziest because how well he can like go in and out of styles. Like you hear him play jazz, and you're like, that guy knows how to play jazz. And then he plays like super traditional blues. I'm like, man, he's a blues guy. And then he goes like 80s stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
everything sounds legit when he plays it. So.
Yeah, I would feel like you guys would get along great, like that whole Tyler kind of
we do
super strat type vibe. So yeah,
RJ is great, and
he's an awesome guy.
Yeah, such a good person. Corey, Tom, all of them.
Yeah,
I think that's the common theme is they're all very genuine, and just good people. So.
Yeah, that's nice, man. It's so cool that you took a chance, or not even took a chance, but you just like, let's make a change. Let's go here and like start a life. And
yeah,
that you had such a great, welcome there and such a good community that you walked right into and open arms. And I don't know, man, it's really fun. I mean, what you're doing is really cool and very, very helpful. Like I told you, I mean, I was scouring the internet for like, what can I, who's actually a good player that's comparing a Heritage versus a Les Paul or whatever, and sometimes it's hard to find, and like and you have to find people that you connect with on some level too,
totally. Well, and that's why some people get upset whenever like there's like a gear blanket, a new piece of gear comes out and there's like 50 demos. I personally, which I know a little bit biased because so I'm sometimes part of that group that are releasing the videos, but I love that because I don't watch all of them. Like you don't have to watch 50 videos over the new Keeley pedal. But when I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to watch Pete Thorne because I relate to the way he plays, and I'm going to watch Sean Tubbs because I relate to the way that he plays. And if it was only someone like Ola, and I love Ola, Ola's a great person, but I'm like, but I don't play metal. So I would rather it be 20 different channels release the video and I can pick and choose who I want to hear the gear from.
Yeah. Cause everybody's different, dude. Like, and then that's what happened for me for JHS when he did that Not a Dumble thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the launch for that. And I played like a Schofield like vibe. And
yeah.
No one else's videos were doing anything close to that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, I feel like when you are yourself, your authentic, genuine self, I think that comes across, and that's what I was saying. You do such a great job of being you. Like you're not. It's not a facade. You're just like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
I'm a weird guy.
No, I think your videos are great, and they're fun to watch, and you do a great job of storytelling too with the video aspects of things as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass too. Like the fact that we have to do this shit these days, where we have to like got to be a videographer and an editor and a musician, and it's like,
I'll tell you what helped me was the verbal abuse from my wife on how I would. She used to help me do videos, and she would just be like, "What are you trying to say?" I'm like, "I'm trying to say this." She's like, "Well, then just say it. Why are you saying all this extra stuff?" She's like, "You need to be way more concise in the way you're talking."
Yeah.
And it really did help. Where I'm like, I should be way more concise, and I should get to the point versus like kind of ranting and raving about all this other stuff that has nothing to do with what the video is. And like it really helped, you know. And she does that with songs too. She'd come up here and because she's a guitarist as well, but approaches things way more from like she wants constant melody, like a singer. And that's where we differ because I told her sometimes I have to be a guitarist. I'm like, I want there to be melody, I want there to be all these things. At the end of the day, I'm also a guitarist. So I'm like, it has to sound like guitar music sometimes, not all the time, but there needs to be that balance. And that was with YouTube. She's like, you should be way more concise in the way that you're saying things, you know, and in the loving way that only a wife can be like, why are you talking so much?
There ain't nothing wrong with having a good partner in this life, man.
Dude, and she's an amazing partner.
That's awesome. Well, I know you got to get out of here. Let's do our lightning round get down. We might have to do a part 2 of this at some point, Robert, because we didn't even get to half of my questions, but that's fine.
Dude, let's do it.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on a metronome at 112 BPM, cruising altitude, for some suspense. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. They're a this and that type of situation. If you want to explain your answers, feel free. If not, blow right through it. First question. Always the same. Lennon or McCartney?
Oh, McCartney.
Onion rings or mozzarella sticks?
Oh, all day mozzarella sticks.
ODR1 or Tube Screamer?
ODR1.
Matchless or Vox?
I've never played a Matchless.
Really?
So I probably have to go Vox. I've been around them, but I've never got to play one. I would go Dr. Z.
Over that, yeah.
Over both.
Okay. Logic or Pro Tools?
Logic.
James Bond or Jason Bourne?
Probably Bond.
Okay.
007 it up.
Yeah, man. Gibson or Heritage?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd probably go Gibson because that's my favorite player has played those. But as far as the ones that I have, I think my Heritage is the best playing one out of all of them. So
fair answer.
Yeah.
Go to the theater or wait for streaming?
Oh, I'm a theater guy.
Oh, like going to the movies?
Yeah, we have a great movie theater here, and it still looks kind of 90s inside, but they've updated it. I love it. I'm like, this is the experience. Man.
Heck yeah, dude. All right, so Zeppelin or Sabbath?
Zeppelin.
Okay,
sure.
And then here's the last one. Sometimes it's the easiest, sometimes it's the hardest.
Okay.
If you could take one album and erase it from your memory just so you could go back and experience it for the first time again, what album would that be?
What a cool question. It would probably be 1984.
Okay.
You know, just because the first thing I ever heard on it, it went to Hot for Teacher, but the actual song 1984, all the synth stuff, how it comes in, is, I just remember I'm like, what is, what am I hearing? And then you hear all the other stuff. So yeah, I think it'd be 1984 just to be like, who is this guy? And it turns out, he's the guy who's gonna like influence you the rest of your life,
change your whole dang life.
Yeah.
I mean, that album probably imprinted on you so hard, and just the first time you heard it, that it's like for me with 10, Yeah.
I mean, and my favorite thing, I love always giving credit where credit's due, like for the influences, but I love reminding yourself sometimes of like how influenced you are by certain players. I just got Rick Graham is another like incredible. He's on YouTube, but he's like a mind-blowingly good guitarist, and he has a signature guitar that just came out. I'm gonna do a video for. And as I was like going back watching his videos, I'm like, oh my god, I don't realize how much I've stolen from Rick. Like the whole my entire approach to arpeggios was, I'm like, oh, I forgot I got this all from him. Like this is how he was doing the sequencing of arpeggios and like this 2-2-3-1, style of doing. I'm like, I forgot that all came from Rick. And then
Wow.
there's like different chords that I do all the time. I'm like, that was from Rick too. Like, I was like, man, I forgot how much I've stolen from him over the years. So,
and you've probably, matured it in your own way. You know what I mean? Like taking it and run with it and turned it in your own,
totally.
bastardized it in your own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was just like remembering. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to like remember. Like, I didn't come up with any of this stuff.
Like, where'd I come from? You know what I mean? That's awesome. Well, dude, Robert, this is such a blast hanging with you, man. Let me just pop up. So, for anybody, BV, thanks for popping up all the links here. But for anybody that's listening on Apple or Spotify or whatever, robertbakerguitar.com is where you can go. Robert has a bunch of great courses and stuff you can purchase.
Oh, thank you.
Learning guitar, becoming a better player, becoming a better human just by being associated with this man. And then Instagram, you can just look him up. Just look up Robert Baker Guitar. You will find that. YouTube is Robert Baker Guitar as well. So happy hunting. Get in there. Check out his stuff. It's amazing, and you will be happy you did.
Guitar the night away.
So anything else to promote? Like anything I don't know about that you want to drop real quick?
No. Sorry if I was like a chatty Kathy. No offense to all the Kathys out in the world.
Nah, dude, no one wants to hear me talk. They want to hear my guest talk. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do part 2 or something if you want, man.
Yeah, we'll do it another time. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff I wanted to talk to you about. That was nerdy guitar stuff, but we'll do it another time.
Hey,
and
I mean, you had me at nerdy guitar stuff. So I'm here. I'm here for it.
Awesome. So hang on one second, Robert. Everybody else, please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we will see you next time.